Add Isaiah Likely. What's up, everyone? It's Eric, aka Doc, coming at you from the Triple Play YouTube channel. And if you're watching this guy is likely available. And now that I got my dad joke out of the way, and if you continue watching, I'm going to tell you why Isaiah Likely is a guy I'm looking to add in free agency this week. But let's just start off with the injuries that the Ravens are suffering. So Rashad Bateman aggravated a foot injury on Thursday Night Football, which is something that caused him to miss 2 games prior. And actually, while recording this, they said he could be out multiple weeks. So their leading pass catcher, that isn't Mark Andrews right now, out for the foreseeable future. But talking about Mark Andrews, he's been limited the last couple games, picked up a shoulder injury against the Bucs, a knee injury the week before where he only had 2 targets, but 1 carry for 4 yards. Who knows what his availability will be moving forward. And just looking at the running back position, Gus Edwards, hamstring injury. This is on top of returning from a torn ACL. J.K. Dobbins is in IR. So right now, the Ravens are not 100% healthy on offense. But just to go a little bit into Isaiah Likely, looking at the profile himself, this is the guy who ran a 4.7 or 4.57 for the 20-yard shuttle, a 36-inch vertical jump, did run a 4.840, so not the fastest time for a tight end, but he still had 12 touchdowns, that should be instead of tight ends, in his senior season, which led all of FBS. Some said that the Ravens overdrafted him, but Lamar Jackson was a fan, and he said Isaiah is like a wide receiver, but in a tight end's body. So if your quarterback likes you, there's probably a good chance that maybe you'll get the ball on offense. And he looked really good when we saw in the preseason with Tyler Huntley. Now, remember, the preseason is only 3 weeks now. So he played the first 2 ones. The first game, he had 4 for 44, caught all 4 of his balls. And then week 2, he had 8 for 100 and 1 touchdown. And this was essentially in one half. So in 2 games in preseason, he caught 12 balls for 144 yards and 1 touchdown and caught everything. And this was actually from the Ravens beat reporter, Jamison Hensley. And if we see on the right-hand side of the screen, they're already calling him the 3rd pass catcher behind Mark Andrews and Rashad Bateman. So if Bateman's out, if this quote holds true, Likely should be the 2nd one in line. Now, I don't know if that's necessarily the case at this point, but I do think that he has a very, very good outlook for rest of season. And when we just look at the shallowness of the position, so Isaiah Likely had 19.7 fantasy points on Sunday, and that is for PPR scoring. So when we look at the outlook for tight ends through 8 weeks that have scored more in a single game, Travis Kelce and Mark Andrews, not surprising. Taysom Hill, if you count him as a tight end, which he is on ESPN and Yahoo, then he scored more. TJ Hawkinson has scored more in a game. Mo Alley Cox, David Njoku, Juwan Johnson, Tyler Conklin, and Mike Gesicki. So on this list, 9 tight ends have scored more in a game than Isaiah Likely did. So that would put him in sort of a tight end 1 scoring. Now, obviously, someone like Dallas Goedert has a little bit more of a safer floor, but through 8 weeks, Likely has 19.7 points, which is more than Goddard has had in any week. So that might let you know of the ceiling that he has moving forward, especially if Mark Andrews doesn't play. And now when we look at the Ravens offense, rest of season, they've scored 20 plus in 7 out of their 8 games. The one game they didn't was against the Bengals when they scored 19. So definitely a top tier offense. And looking forward, they play at New Orleans on Monday Night Football. So the Saints shut out the Raiders, who I think it's more of a Raiders problem. But before that, they allowed 33 points per game over their last 4. They were getting torched on defense. Then they faced the Panthers, who are allowing 26 points per game if you take out the game against Tampa Bay. Now, I know this is a lot of hypothetical, but I'm taking one game out of a 4 or 5 or even 8 game sample size. And once again, I think that's more of a Tampa Bay problem than Carolina. And then they play at Jacksonville, who have lost 5 straight games. And it's a close division. They want to build the 1-game lead they have on the Bengals right now. And that could get closer if the Bengals beat the Browns tonight. So look, for all of these reasons, I would add Isaiah Likely, and he's somebody that should be available in your league. Right now, he's rostered in 1.7% of ESPN leagues, 5% in Yahoo leagues. So he's most likely a free agent in your league. Now, from a fab perspective, I'm not one for blowing a lot on tight end because a lot of the position is volatile. And if you can score a touchdown, then you're likely starting if you're not in the Andrews or Kelsey, or even I would say Goddard tier. But for all of these reasons, I think Isaiah Likely is a good waiver wire add this week. And for everybody that pays attention to Triple Play Fantasy, thank you for tuning in. Hopefully he's a free agent in your league. And leave us a comment. Let us know your thoughts.